As much as I love RPGs and have been playing them for as long as I can remember, for some reason I never got around to the Shin Megami Tensei series. The Megami Tensei series is a long-running RPG series that began in 1987, with its first title, Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei, releasing a few months prior to the first Final Fantasy title. The series was so successful in Japan, it spawned multiple spin-off series including Persona, which would become the first Megami Tensei game released in the West, with Revelations, Persona releasing on the PS1 in 1996. And I didn't play it! Look, do you realize how many RPGs there were on the PS1? We're talking the era video game companies realized JRPGs could sell in the West and the genre was at its heyday. I'm talking FF7 through 9, Legend of Mana, Suikoden 2, Lunar Silver Star Story, Xenogears, Chrono Cross, Legend of Dragoon, Vagrant Story, Grandia, Breath of Fire 3, Wild Arms, Star Ocean, Legend of Legaia, Valkyrie Profile, Brave Fencer Musashi, Tales of Destiny, Dragon Quest 7, Parasite Eve, Saga Frontier, Jade Cocoon, Threads of Fate, Thousand Arms, just to name a few. And that's not even including the Sega Saturn or N64. But I finally got my hands on Persona 5. And how is it? Well, that's what this video is about. The game starts off with you escaping from a casino heist. You also have a masquerade-style mask on, and I don't know why, but anytime I see a mask like this, the only thing that comes to mind is Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon. And while some people might say that's a plus, the show honestly never really connected with me. Regardless, it's time for you to get out of this casino so that you can fight evil by moonlight and win love by daylight. I mean, something like that. The cops catch you, and because of your goofy apparel, throw you in the slammer and interrogate you after drugging you up with what seems to be a truth serum, then beating you up with utter disregard to the cameras that are watching. They then force you into signing a confession for all of your crimes you may or may not have committed. I mean, at this point in the story, you really don't have any idea, so... I just have to sign my name, right? Yeah! Ding Dong McBubble. Yup, that's me. It's even the name of my YouTube channel. See that? That's all the proof you need. Once the cops are done beating the shit out of you, Sainijima, part of the SIU, or Special Investigation Unit, comes to interrogate you.
Your time will be cut short. We can't permit you to talk with him for long.
I understand.
Hold it! I need you to stop right there, game. The majority of the game takes place with you telling Sai your story while she interrogates you in what's essentially a giant flashback. This right here, this is my save file. Over 100 hours!
Your time will be cut short. Cut.
The start of your tale brings us to your hometown, known simply as... Hometown. Here, you try to prevent a man from raping a woman. The man drunkenly trips over himself and threatens to sue you. Yeah! That sounds pretty realistic. Somehow he manages to get away with it. The woman you tried to save testifies against you, and you're charged with having assaulted the man. You're then expelled from your high school and forced to transfer to a new school in Tokyo, where you'll be living under a stranger's roof for a year-long probation. Well, that escalated pretty quick. On the way to the stranger's house, you pass through Shibuya and the famous Shibuya crossing, where you notice a strange app on your phone. And even though it's probably a virus, it somehow gets activated anyway. The possibilities! With this, I could sneak into Disneyland for free! Or, I could rob a video game store and nobody would notice! Or, I could light everything on fire and burn the world down! Or, chop everyone's head off, stick them in a refrigerator, and... move it! Nope, never mind, delete that shit, forget I even thought about it. So, creepy app aside, this brings you to a small back street of Yoganjaya, where the man taking you in for the duration of your probation lives, Sojiro Sakura. Sojiro runs a small Korean coffee shop and lets you sleep in the attic, which, outside of the fact there doesn't seem to be a bathroom anywhere, actually not a bad deal. After cleaning your new room, you head to sleep and what the fuck? I deleted that shit! Yeah, no. Damn viruses. Also, have you ever noticed how just about every virus is a virus telling you to install anti-spyware software? And I know that it has nothing to do with Persona 5, but life, man! Alright, you then fall asleep, only to wake up in a prison cell. Some random dude named Igor runs this place and informs you it's called the Velvet Room, and reflects the inner state of your heart, which apparently says I'm a prisoner of my own heart. Yeah, I don't get it. Apparently I need to be rehabilitated, and why? Even my dreams are against me! Remember that time I saved someone? How does that need rehabilitation? Eventually, it's finally time to go to your new school, Shujin Academy, and you'll have a brief chance to control your character before being stopped by the fact that it's raining and you don't have an umbrella. Foiled again! Also, that crazy virus is back. Just because I watch porn on my phone doesn't mean this shit needs to keep happening. Did I say porn? I meant porn. Shit. So I haven't really talked too much about the actual gameplay yet, because the first few hours of the game are basically just connected cutscenes and walls of text, but part of the Persona series involves having the chance to date different girls. In other words, I choose that one.
You want me to give you a ride to school? You're gonna be late.
Sure, thank you.
I'm going to chop off his head, stick it in a refrigerator, and as my future love interest hops a ride with Professor Douchebag, you'll run into Ryuji. He explains that the driver of the car is Professor Kamoshida, a teacher at Shujin Academy. He also goes on some weird tirade about how Kamoshida considers the school his castle. Either way, Ryuji also goes to Shujin Academy, so you follow him to the castle? Best school ever! Huge win! As it turns out, Ryuji has no idea what the hell is going on. A bunch of castle guards surround you, toss you in prison, and charge you for unlawful entry. And the sentence for unlawful entry? Death. What a good fucking week! And out comes none other than Kamoshida in that outfit. Vincent Brooks from Catherine, is that you? As he tries to execute you, it turns out you have special powers. Somehow, spewing blood out of your face gives you new powers, and control over your persona, Arson. Arson is...
I am the rebel soul that resides within you.
Yeah, sure, whatever you say. You then utilize this power to face off against the guards, who are now floating jack-o'-lanterns, and escape with Ryuji. Escaping the castle brings you to a dead end, and... Morgana. Morgana is a talking cat who, in helping him escape from the prison, will teach you all about the metaverse. Essentially, the castle you're inside of is actually the cognition of how a human perceives the specific area you're at, and the more distorted their mind and desires are, the more likely their cognition is to create such an area. In this case, Kamoshida legitimately views the school as his own castle, and thus what the metaverse has taken shape as. Combat within the metaverse involves you fighting off various shadows who have found their way within his cognition. The combat system itself being turn-based, with you and your party members all having a persona who can attack with a specific element. It's a little bit like a more complex Pokemon, with each persona and shadow having specific strengths and weaknesses that you'll have to account for.
The school turned into an old castle? A talking cat? Are you hallucinating from an overdose?
No? With the help of Morgana, you eventually escape from the castle, only to return to reality and discover actual time has passed. And that cute girl from the train station is actually in your class. Not only that, but the following day you'll find Kamoshida blatantly trying to flirt with her at school. That is illegal! Ryuji wants to try to discover the castle again, and, as it turns out, the weird creepy app on your phone is what causes the metaverse to appear. The Metaverse Navigator. This time, Ryuji has come prepared, bringing along both medicine and a gun. Actually, not really.
It's a model gun, though, so it only makes sounds.
Actually, as it turns out, because the model gun looks realistic within the metaverse as someone would perceive it to be a real gun, within their cognition it acts like a real gun and can be used to shoot at shadows. Going even deeper into Kamoshida's castle, you'll discover the volleyball team. In reality, Kamoshida is the coach of the school's volleyball team, which is so well regarded that it's increased Shujin Academy's image and reputation. However, his cognition shows the volleyball team as slaves and being tortured, meaning that they're going through something similar in real life. And between this and running into Kamoshida yet again, who taunts Ryuji, revealing that in the past, Ryuji was on Kamoshida's track team, and Kamoshida broke Ryuji's leg, Ryuji snaps and his persona is born. Captain Kid. And in using Captain Kid, the three of you will be able to defeat Kamoshida's guards and discover another part of his cognition, that he views Anne as his sexual slave. That bastard! She's my sexual slave! I mean, that's horrible. What an asshole! As you and Ryuji start to investigate the truth about the obvious abuse students are facing in the volleyball team, the following day you'll bump into Anne on the train platform, who I totally was not thinking of in an inappropriate manner at all. She's on the phone with—
Wait, were you listening?
Oh, hey! I totally was not stalking you. Hold on! I'm not following you! I swear! I'm not stalking you! I'm just saying, the game's making me do this, okay? Catching up to Anne, for some reason she'll decide you're not a creep and end up chatting with you about what's going on. As it turns out, Kamoshida is threatening to kick her best friend Shiho Suzui off of the volleyball team's starting line if Anne doesn't have sex with him. Anne has refused, and furious, Kamoshida calls Suzui into his office, and it's implied that he rapes her. As goofy as this game can be, there are dark moments like this, which genuinely took me by surprise. Especially as this culminates the next day, with Shiho attempting to commit suicide. This leaves Ryuji and yourself, after discovering this is related to Kamoshida, to track him down to his office and downright accuse him. Kamoshida doesn't care, as there's no evidence, and decides to get you both expelled at the next board meeting. For your main character, this would mean prison, as he's already on probation.
What?
At the same time, Morgana, the cat from the metaverse, unfortunately turns out to be a real cat in the real world and decides to follow you around and talk to you. He informs you that by going into the metaverse and Kamoshida's cognition, you can actually steal his most prized treasure and trigger a change of heart in him. This will make him change his ways and stop him from being an evil dick. But if you fuck up, you might kill him. However, with expulsion now at hand, there's no choice but to test it out, and Takamaki, upset about Suzui and wanting to help, follows you and Ryuji into the metaverse, and as Shadow Kamoshida is about to sexually abuse her, she unleashes her very own persona and joins your team. Hell yeah!
She cares about her friends, and she's beautiful to boot. What a girl. She's captured my heart.
Shut up, Morgana! I got dibs. And with a full party and mission in hand to stop Kamoshida, the true game finally starts. What Persona now consists of is essentially two modes. There's you as a student attending Shujin Academy, studying for exams and going about your daily life, and there's you as a newly dubbed Phantom Thief, who will go into the Wicked's cognition via the metaverse, steal their treasure, and cause a change of heart within a limited window of time. And this timer is super important, as you can only do a certain amount of things every day, including going into the metaverse, meaning a huge part of the game is time management. But, being that you have a deadline for causing a change of heart, let's jump into the metaverse. This brings you straight to the palace portions of the game. Here you'll fight against various shadows as you traverse through a dungeon, and, in a fun twist, the game actually acts similar to Pokemon, with you now being able to collect the various shadows you fight. Like this shadow demon sitting on a toilet taking a dump! Now, I want to point out that a persona reflects your true heart. So, all I'm saying is, how did they get my persona in this game? While only the main character can do this, equipping and switching to the right shadows, who become personas once they're in your arsenal, becomes a huge part of the strategy to this game, as you'll need to utilize their various strengths and weaknesses to best fight off against each enemy. You'll also gain experience and level up both yourself and your personas, as this is an RPG, gaining you more health, SP, which allows you to use a persona's attack, and new attacks for your personas.
Whoa, badass!
As opposed to random battles, you'll also be able to see your enemies, meaning that you can sneak up on them and also gain a more tactical advantage, or straight fuck up and be semi-screwed. And as simple as that is, just being able to see your enemies really does add to the experience, as you can choose to fight them or avoid them when you want. Every palace also includes a set of various simple puzzles for you to solve, adding another nuance to this portion of the game, and typically telling you a little bit more about the person whose cognition you're in. Another major mechanic is that you're basically given a time limit for how long you can be in these dungeons, as using SP is crucial for fighting enemies, but at the start of the game, items which recover SP are incredibly rare or expensive. So, no biggie, I guess we'll leave and go do some other stuff for tonight.
Hey.
You must be tired after today. Let's go to sleep.
Hey,
Aren't you tired today? Let's go to sleep already. Aren't you tired? Let's just do
You're
this
tired,
some other time.
right?
Aren't you tired?
You should get some
tired
rest.
after today. What? What do you know, Morgana? No! No! I don't want to sleep! I just want to chill in my room and watch a DVD or play a video game, which gives you social stats, by the way. Why is a talking cat forcing me to sleep? Don't tell me what to do, cat! And speaking of social stats, let's get away from Morgana and check out the real world. Throughout the game, you can meet and receive new confidants, or people with progressing storylines who, in talking with them, will rank up and give you new perks both within and outside of the metaverse. For example, you can spend time with both Ryuji and Anne, and by doing so, their abilities within the metaverse will increase. These range from support abilities to crucial attacking abilities such as the Baton Pass, which allows you to attack enemies multiple times within a single turn. Mishima, on the other hand, is a confidant who will never join your party, but by leveling him up, will increase the amount of experienced people in your party who aren't equipped or currently fighting will receive for battles, eventually allowing everyone to gain the same amount of experience. These are fun to do as you'll interact with the characters and help progress their story. Ryuji, for example, follows after the track. Wait a sec. Prompto was sleeveless in FF15. Ryuji is sleeveless in Persona 5. Why do blonde characters always wear sleeveless shirts? And while these are all important, you also have social stats you'll need to level up in order to even start some of these confidants or progress them, and time-consuming real-world activities will increase these. For example, studying increases your intelligence, and doing the Big Bang Burger eating challenge, for whatever reason, upgrades all of your stats outside of kindness. And that includes intelligence. You can also take on various jobs during Cold Hard Cash, or date one of the many female confidants in the game. And if you can believe it, I chose Anne. Not like I was building up to that or anything. Oh wait, you can also date multiple women at once in this game, including Tai Takemi. Tai Takemi, who provides your crew with medicine, and is the worst doctor, period! In order to date her, you have to take experimental medicine from her, but oh, that's not all! She'll sell you painkillers under the counter if you pretend to be sick, then stop caring after that. That's actually really, seriously bad, like extremely so. Painkillers are a type of opioid and can easily lead to addiction, which oftentimes leads to another opioid addiction. Heroin. So, now that our protagonist is drugged the hell out, might as well try another dating option. One of your teachers, Sadayo Kawakami, who has a side job as a sexual service maid and you can regularly call over to your place. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
So, as someone who went from being my master to my boyfriend, do you have any requests for me? I'll obey them, you know. Here, by all means.
Bitch! I'm a one-man woman. Or, one-woman man. Get your ass out of here! Although, I should mention that for leveling her up to max rank, even without choosing to date her, you'll be able to do activities after visiting the metaverse without Morgana stopping you by getting a massage from Kawakami. Sorry, babe, it's for the good of progress, I swear. She won't mind. Probably. Before moving on, I think it's important to talk about just how great the style of the game is. Shigenori Soejima, character designer on P3 and P4, returns as the character designer. Heading up the UI, or user interface displays, was Masayoshi Suto, who worked on them with the game's director and writer, Katsura Hashino, and I honestly feel like he deserves an award for it. The music is also fantastic, with a mix of hard rock and jazz, and was primarily composed by Shoji Meguro, with other contributors. Persona 5 is sorta like playing an anime, and once you finish the Kamoshida arc, you'll... So whatevs, back to Kamoshida, and only 2 days left? Whatever, I'll be fine. I'll just make my way through the palace, and apparently secure an infiltration route? So all that's left is to send a calling card? Morgana! Why didn't you tell me this shit before? How long is this going to take? 2 days?
Charges have been filed against you. The person who raised these allegations is Suguru Kamoshida. You're coming with us.
Morgana! This is your fault! That's it!
There's only one way. I heard you were getting massages from Kawakami.
You know,